I'm on my hill, can't top that. You take this L, yeah, rock that. You know, I never needed a cosign. Yeah, I'm gon' shine. I rock independent, representing like I work for the Senate. You double LC, you ain't got no business. Come in the
What it do, Nick Nation? What it do, Nick Nation? What it do? KOD Nation, stand up, and all you DJs, wake up and get your coffee. Welcome to this Wednesday, January 4th episode of the Knicks Morning Brew. I am your guy Hector, and I'm chilling with my bro Phil, and I'm chilling with my guy Jiggaman Porto. Guys, what it do?
What up, what up, what up, what up, what up, what up, what up? I always love doing our shows after a W. The last four before that was really difficult to hang out with you guys. I mean, I love you guys and all, but after a loss, I still don't want to hang out with you. I just don't.
Well, it could go either way. I like hanging out with Phil, but sometimes after a loss, you're a bit in your feelings, you know.
That's true.
A little bit in your feelings.
Just a little bit. Shout out to the chat. Blood of the Panthers in the building. Chris Joseph is in the building. What it do, family? Go ahead, Phil. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, and like Hector was saying, like after 38 years of life, even after a win sometimes also, it can be hard seeing your face, Jigga, man. You never know.
Jeez. All right, Phil no longer has to see my face. He's been removed from the show. All right.
Eric Wallace is in the building, my man. What it do, Eric? What it do? Happy New Year, family. But yeah, like you said, 2 wins in a row. We started off 2023 1-0 for the Knicks, feeling pretty good. Both wins, blowout wins. On top of that, yes, was Julius Randle in the game when we had a crazy lead and it was a lot of minutes left in the quarter? Yes. Instead of resting Julius Randle, Tom Thibodeau did what Tom Thibodeau does and tries to run his players into the ground. But regardless, that man Julius Randle, he's back. He's back to the all-star form that he was a couple of seasons ago. In the month of December, he's clearly averaging 29 points per game. He is having the best month of his career when it comes to stats. 29 points per game, 10-plus rebounds, close to 5 assists per game. And in the last 3 games alone, hold on, because I got the stats right here. I wrote them down. I made sure I was prepared. And the last 3 games alone, Julius Randle is averaging, hold on. He is averaging 35 points per game. In the last 3 games alone, Julius Randle has been averaging 35 points per game. When you look at his 3-point percentage, he is shooting 43% from threes, and he is on fire. Last 5 games from beyond the arc, 25 for 56, 43%. So we got to love everything that we're seeing from Julius Randle.
Go ahead, Phil. I'll let Phil go on this one. Go ahead, Phil. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's one of those things, man. It's like, how can you throw shade when someone is playing some of the best basketball that you see in the league? Mm-hmm. But for me, it's not about the stats. We haven't really seen a breakdown from him in a few games as well. Yeah. And that's what I care about most, because there have been some calls that he really should have gotten, and you see him just shake his head. He walks it off, like you see the frustration, but he's not like becoming like a prisoner to his emotions that he typically is. Like, he typically lets his emotions keep him in this cage where nothing else is important. And it eclipses the good that he's doing, but he's not doing that. So there's nothing to eclipse right now. Like, he is actually creating assists. Like, and I have not seen a jump in the air pass from him these last 2 games. And that to me was a huge hiccup, because it was one of those things where it was like, okay, you passed it, but only because you were forced to. Like you had no other option. But now he's actually looking for passes. And so seeing him these last few games has been incredible. And honestly, it's brought a lot of like division again, because Knicks fans love division, on whether that means we need to sell high or that means we need to now continue to revolve the team around him. Whatever side of the coin you're on, you still have to give the guy his props. Like he is playing great basketball. And this is all-star caliber, maybe off the bench, all-star team, but still all-star caliber basketball.
And to your point, shout out to Jonathan in the chat, because like you said, Knicks fans already looking trying to trade Julius Randle. Shout out my man Jonathan. Happy New Year. He said, with Randle playing well, do you think it will be time to explore trading him? Myself, when it comes to that statement, Jonathan, it's been 360 seconds since we started this show, and we already got somebody wanted to trade Julius Randle. When it comes to trading Julius Randle, my thoughts on this, and this is just my thoughts on it, Jonathan, I do not think the front office would explore trading Julius Randle during the season, because they want to compete, right? They want to make the playoffs and they want to compete. Now, in the offseason, when it comes to trading Julius Randle, maybe. But right now, let's just enjoy what we have in Julius Randle. Let's just enjoy what we have on this team. And if we do make trades, let it be minor trades. That way, instead of having a 9-man rotation, we can have a 10 to 11-man rotation going into the playoffs, because we know going into the playoffs, everybody is going to turn it up another degree of play. Go ahead, Sels.
Yeah, so what I love is when you see all these tweets and all these comments on social media, update your takes, or those of you that want to trade Randle are crazy and this and that, right? What I love is when you see all that, but you know you can still sit on the fact that your take wasn't one you have to take back. We've never sat here and said Julius Randle is garbage of a player. We never said Julius Randle can't ball. We know the man can ball. We've seen it ourselves. We've seen an all-star season from the man before. What was the biggest thing I constantly talk about? I want to see team ball. I want to see this man smiling. When he smiles, we know the game is going well.
Oh, yeah.
What we're getting right now is team ball from this man. On top of a smile, and his mental game right now is on point. Julius Randle's biggest downside to him is the lack of his mental smarts, his emotional intelligence. You know what I mean? We all see it, right? When a foul's not called on him, how he flips out, doesn't run down the court, when he's pushing players on his own team or not high-fiving anybody. When you get that Randle, you don't want him here. But when you're getting the Randle that we're getting, there's no need to trade him. He's playing team ball and giving us a chance to see what our other guys have. We're starting to see our young guys. We're starting to see what they can do. So this man deserves his flowers. Give the man his flowers. So no, we can't sit here and say he has to be traded. You can't. Let's be real. So to answer Jonathan's question, I'm going to answer it with a question, Jonathan. If we traded that man right now, where's our points?
Facts.
I'm just here for real. Where's our points? Where are we getting them from? Who's making up those 24 plus points?
Pudgy Nice is in the building. Pudge, what it do, baby?
So Phil, for real, you trade him right now. Where are those points coming from?
Yeah, no.
Cam?
It honestly comes down to
Cam.
It honestly comes down to what our trajectory is. If
this right here
the
from
Knicks
Chris
are doing, yeah. Exactly.
That's a 6 S's to the dome. It's like, nonstop 3 S salutes. Oh, that actually got me kind of dizzy, yo. Go ahead.
Yeah, baby shaking syndrome. That's what's gonna happen.
Yo, what up? What up, Smooth?
Smooth, what it do, baby?
Smooth, what up, my guy?
3 capital S's.
And then I want to hear Smooth's take in that chat. But here's the thing: the hard thing is always knowing. I've talked about it a million times. Our trajectory. Like a lot of teams, you can say, we know that the trajectory is this. We know that OKC's trajectory is to stay young and have longevity. That's why they traded and got so many picks, because they want to be able to build this team for years to come and see how they continue to compete time and time again throughout the years with this young core. We don't have that kind of clarity as Knicks fans of what our front office wants to do. So if our front office is trying to do what it typically does, which is let's win now, especially with Tibbs, he's not going to be our coach in like 8 to 10 years. Like that's not going to happen. So Tibbs is definitely in a, he's in a win now scenario. So if we're going win now, we're going to look to move other pieces to come around Julius to win right now. Like that's what we're going to do. If we're finally going, hey, we're not going to win now. We're still a first round, maybe second round playoffs, kind of team. Let's figure something else out. Then they would trade Randle because his stock is at the highest it's ever been right now. And a wise coach, if they are thinking trade, would look back and be like, okay, how do you learn? You look at history. When we had that bubble season, we did not trade him when his stock was high. And then in the playoffs, he fell apart. And there was no way to actually even consider moving him, even though they had thoughts that they could try. So if that was to happen and he doesn't show up in the playoffs, that stock goes back down. Because now teams can look and say, that's 2 seasons in a row that he played well and then fell apart in the playoffs. And so if we were going to sell, I say now would be the time. But I don't think that that's the trajectory of the coaching staff.
And that's my point, though. Right now, that's the point. We as a fan base, we know, right? Yes, we enjoy seeing Randle play the way he's playing, but it doesn't change the fact that we know what pieces need to be done. I mean, come on. Who was it in the chat? Was it Smooth, right? Yeah. I mean, let's be real. Smooth says it all the time. It doesn't change the hashtag fire Tibbs. It doesn't change what needs to be traded. Like that doesn't change. But we as a fan base have to accept that we know, okay, you know what? They're not going to make those trades right now. It's not going to be Julius Randle.
Not right now.
And right now, where it stands right now, we are in a better situation with him. And again, guys, it's this situation is we've solved. We see that Grimes can play. We can see that Deuce can play defense. The boy can't shoot worth the damn. We see
my man
that
Shy Legacy is in the building. Shy, Happy New Year, my guy. Hope all is well, Shy.
So now we're going to get to the point now where we're going to get the chance to see Obi the way we want, right? Listen, we just got him. He just got downgraded, right? We might see Obi, right? So I think that's our next step as a fan base is, okay, now we can sit there and say, okay, now let's see what we got with Obi. Because you guys know I'm still on the Obi train. I am.
Same. I'm a big fan of Obi, and I'm probably the engineer on the Obi Toppin train, right? But when it comes to Obi coming back off of his injury, slow him down, right? Don't put him out there and try to get 20 minutes from Obi Toppin because you don't even play him 20 minutes. Let him come in, get his 12 to 15 minutes coming back off of this type of injury. You guys got to remember, he fractured almost his tibia, right in the leg. That's a bad injury to have, especially if you're somebody known for being a high flyer, right? When it comes to Tibbs, like you mentioned earlier before, when it comes to Tibbs is looking at his coaching resume for this season and for beyond. Because like you said, if it doesn't work out with Tom Thibodeau being a coach of the New York Knicks, he's going to want his next job to reflect what his resume is right now. That's why Tom Thibodeau is not one of those coaches that is going to allow a team to tank because it's going to hurt his win-loss record, right? He's always trying to build his resume for the next job he gets down the line. I understand Tibbs has said numerous times, and people have said numerous times, this is his dream job. Regardless if this is his team, if this is his dream job, he still has to worry about what happens after the Knicks. So whether that's a front office job, whether that's another coaching job, whether that's just a job at ESPN being an analysis, whatever it is, he has to worry about his resume right now.
Vendor man. Sorry.
Exactly. And then also too, when it comes to Julius Randle, I got a nickname from Julius Randle. That man is a walking mood ring. Right, Julius Randle is literally a walking mood ring, right? So as long as Julius Randle, right, could just not be his worst enemy and not have the battle between here, but the battle on the court, I think will be good for the rest of the season. When it comes to trading Julius Randle, I don't think it's going to be during the season, and most likely will be in the off season. Why?
Yeah.
other executives are going to want to see if Julius Randle can do this for the entire season, not just a month, not just for 2 months, and not just for 3 months, the entire season. And then on top of that, if we were to trade Julius Randle right now, Obi Toppin doesn't have the legs under him right now to become a starter because, one, he missed how many times and how many games, and two, the type of injury he's coming back from. So let Obi come back, let him work his way back up, and in the offseason, if we find the package to trade Julius Randle, we trade Julius Randle.
Yeah. Real quick, Phil, before you give your take, I want to go back. We were talking about who would put up those points, right? And I want to give a shout out Smooth in the chat because he gave his take. He said Brunson, a healthy RJ, can score more. If you start Obi, he gives you at least 15, and it's more ball movement. Also, Grimes can score more. I would say at least 10, 15 points. Got to remember, when Obi started, he gave us over 20 points and 5 rebounds at more efficient rate. Check the numbers. Smooth. This show right here, we ain't disagree with the Obi numbers, yo.
No.
My Obi shirt is over there waiting to come back out, bro. I put that shirt on that says, no, nothing can stop Obi Toppin. That man got injured that night. I'm afraid to put the shirt back on, okay? But if he comes back, I'm putting it on, all right?
But also too, right, and I'll throw it over to Phil. When you look at Obi's numbers before he went down for injury, before he got injured, when you looked at Obi's numbers per 36, right, if you expanded it and looked at the per 36 minutes, Obi and Julius numbers was basically neck and neck. Obi Toppin was just a better 3-point shooter. So when you look at per 36, Obi Toppin scoring, his rebound, his production, it's basically on par with what Julius Randle gives you. And I understand per 36 is not the entire story, but it gives you an idea of what he could be. Go ahead, Phil.
Yeah, and that's one thing I'll talk on in a sec. First, if you guys don't know who Smooth is, shout out to Smooth and Cassius. They hold it down on Twitter Spaces,
Definitely
after game shows, Knicks Player Club. What I love about these guys, and I hit it off with them like instantly, because Twitter can be kind of a dumpster fire at times. But what made me connect with these guys is that they can speak their minds, their opinions, their thoughts, their wants. But then they also speak basketball and logic, like, yeah, we all want Tibbs fired, but Smooth can say it's still fire Tibbs, but I know it's not going to happen, like, hey, we could trade Randle. I don't see it happening, even though I would want it, and this is why it would make us better. So props to them. And one thing I saw in the chat was, or not even the chat, what you were saying, Heck, like per 36, it doesn't show everything, but what it doesn't show is how the coach treats that player. Like that player, Obi Toppin, as soon as Obi Toppin does something good or bad, if it's up to coach pulls him whenever he wants.
SK, Happy New Year's, my guy. SK, the Smoking Nick. Hope all is well. Salute to the family. God bless, my guy. Go ahead.
Yeah, there's no concern for like how Obi's actually playing in the game when it came to how Tibbs handled him. Like when Randle is on, Randle is staying in. Like that's just something that is going to happen. So I think, per 36, you can't really judge that, but yeah, they were neck and neck. But we'll see. I hope Obi comes back and he's healthy, he's strong, he shows good things. What would happen if they could actually play well together? Like a fluid rotation. What if this kind of Randle was that kind of Randle, even with Obi back, and Obi's putting up those kind of numbers?
You remember Phil? I forgot what game it was, but it was before, I think it was 1 or 2 games right before Obi got injured, where for the first time we saw this season we saw the Randle and Obi that we were texting each other like, is Obi and Randle on the court at the same time?
I love that.
I wouldn't mind.
I love that. I love that, but the thing is, when it comes to Tom Thibodeau, he gets a little skittish and he gets a little scared. Like I understand what you're saying with the whole appreciate that, Smooth. I'll definitely be
hold on before you finish. SK, appreciate you being back, homie. You've been busy. He said, are we still trying to trade Randle? Listen, SK, you showed up at the perfect time. You know how we feel. We ain't throwing anybody away, but listen,
his Randle senses were going off. That's what it was. His Julius Randle senses was going off. That's what it was.
Who's trading Randle? He knew instantly. Listen, SK, look, we're giving this man flowers. roses, the whole 9, bro. All right.
Smoking Nick, rewind the show. Rewatch. You missed it. Rewatch.
I want to point out a comment that was in the chat from my bro Shy Legacy. He said Randle would not be traded unless he requests a trade. He's the first player on this team that made this front office somewhat relevant. Next star in the making is Brunson. 100% agree. This front office, right? This front office, they found their horse, right, in Julius Randle, right? When we struck out on Kyrie and KD, they found their horse, and they're going to stick with it. They're literally going to run this man into the ground until he cannot play basketball anymore. And if you're the front office, when you make certain moves when it comes to drafting Obi or signing this coach or giving this player an extension, it's all a reflection on you, right? And when it comes to this front office, they don't want to seem like they were wrong when it comes to initially signing Julius Randle, giving Julius Randle his extension. And when you look at the numbers he's putting up right now, you're not going to trade him, right? I wouldn't want to trade him, right? When you look at I brought up his numbers, the last 3 games, he's scoring 35 points per game. He's shooting over 45% from beyond the arc. He is killing it right now. If we can keep this type of Julius Randle, then keep this type of Julius Randle. As long as he has Jalen Brunson, and that's the beautiful thing about Jalen Brunson. Jalen Brunson takes that pressure off of him, right? Jalen Brunson literally takes that pressure off of him.
Real quick, 3 things. Number 1, Chris Joseph. I know we are talking efficiency, but Obi is not a better shooter than Randle in any capacity. There's no argument there. We haven't seen enough to even say that. Yeah, Randle's lights out. Blood of Panther, heck is spot on. So real quick, everybody in the chat, for those of you, I don't know how you watch your Knicks games, but if you use the League Pass, you got a TV subscriber, whatever, Hulu, all that stuff. Subscription, that's the word. Tonight, we're going to do a little private viewing of the Knicks watch along tonight. If it's something you're interested in, DM me on Twitter, or you can hit up our Knicks Morning Brew account. On Twitter, hit up Heck, hit up Phil. We'll get you that. But tonight we're going to do a private little hangout with all of us. So let's do that. But the man himself, the leader of the Redbeard Ventures, the founder of Magic DJ, Drew Austin. What up, Drew?
What's up, Drew? What it do, my baby?
Drew just shows up backstage. Drew's like, you know what? It's next time.
If I don't have meetings, I always try to pop in on Talk Some Knicks. So I got a meeting. A meeting got canceled on me the last minute. So I was like, all right, let me go get in there and talk some Knicks.
That company's lost, our gain. Let's go. Drew, we're talking Julius Randle, bro. How are you feeling? What are your thoughts on Julius?
Man, he's playing ball, dude, right? He's balling. Listen, there was 2 things I thought I saw early on in the season. I actually caught him one game, actually meditating on the sideline. You could see his eyes were closed. His hands were really like this on his knees. You could see that he was actually meditating. And I figured that, he spent a lot of time in the offseason working on his mental fitness, which I think was really, really, really important for him because he's always had a decent game. We know he can ball. Listen, is his game the perfect style? No. I mean, I don't know if he's a 90s basketball player, bully ball, post up, one-on-one, mid-range, ball player. But there's not many players in the league that can put up 25 and 10 on a regular basis. And, and Randle can. So, listen, I don't know at this point how many places we can trade Randle that would actually improve the team. I honestly don't see it anymore. I think there are other ways to improve a team, which we've discussed a million times, and I'd be happy to dig into it. But I just don't see where Randle, what we would ever get right now at a power forward that would be worth trading Randle for. And Obi has not proved himself. He's not listen, I like Obi's fun off the bench, man. Let's let him. He has a good role off the bench. When he comes back and gets healthy again, he'll feel right back in that spot. He'll come back in. He'll be an energy guy off the bench, which is all that he's earned. And I don't know what else there is to say. I mean, are there even opposing views right now? What is the opposition view of?
I mean, you got the usual fan base stuff, right? You got the herd that's like, I don't care what he does, he needs to be traded. Then you've got those that are literally what you just said. There's not right now where it stands. There's not many other guys in his position in the league that we can say are better than him.
Yeah.
Forget how you feel about him going into the season, how you felt about him 3 weeks ago. Right now, you cannot sit here and say, sign me up. The man's balling out.
You think he's he's an all-star, right? Like I think.
Oh, 100%, Drew. When you look at his numbers, he's having the second best year in his career when it comes to stats. He's literally right behind his mark when he was an all-star a couple of seasons ago. So when it comes to Julius Randle, the best thing about Julius Randle this season is that he actually has a point guard in Jalen Brunson, right? Alfred Payton wasn't that point guard to get the best out of Jalen Brunson. Alec Burks wasn't the point guard that he needed to get the best out of him. And Jalen Brunson, to like you said, when it comes to the mental battle that normally gets the best out of Julius Randle, right? When it comes to that part of the game, Jalen Brunson is taking him to the side and telling him, calm yourself down, relax yourself. You know, he's out there on the court controlling Julius Randle. And right before you came in, Drew, I literally said Julius Randle is a walking mood ring. Right. So as long as Julius Randle can control the battle that's between right here, then we can get the best version of Julius Randle. 100%. I think Knicks fans at the end of the day, we all want the same thing. We want this team to be competitive. We want this team to be over 500 and make the playoffs. And right now, the best case scenario, and if we have the best version of Julius Randle, that's going to happen.
Yep. No doubt about it. Yeah, I just got some crazy little Knicks alpha for those. This is like a little like Knicks Brew alpha. My boy just texted me. So the LeBron comes to Brooklyn and New York at the end of this month in back-to-back games. If he averages about 34, 35 a game on when he plays at the Garden, he could be going for Kareem's record. Dude, if I was going to be away that weekend, if I was there, I'd be buying Knicks tickets right now, 100%. Damn, that's like a legend. I mean, if that, listen, every stars got to align, but LeBron wants to break that shit at the Garden. You know he does.
Oh yeah, he definitely does.
He loves
he
that.
definitely does.
I feel like I should go right now on the calendar and just put a note to myself: do not watch this game tonight. Okay, like I don't like when people come to the Garden and embarrass us. Okay,
for real.
No, but listen, if it's gonna be
celebrated stuff.
Yeah, if it's going to be anybody, let it be the king. Let it be LeBron. If it's going to be anyone.
Listen, I've never been a huge LeBron fan, but like, just like I wasn't a Jordan fan when he played against the Knicks either, but like, you got to respect greatness.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, look, 100%. Guys, it's Professional Pizza. What up, Sir Pizza? Whenever he shows up with his YouTube account, it's always his real name, Professional Pizza.
Salute. Oh, we got Jacob Petruzzi is in the chat.
What up,
Jacob,
Petruzzi?
What it do, baby? Now that I found out, now Pete was the one that told me how to pronounce his last name properly. So now I got to pronounce it properly. We got SKF, still Knicks fans, my man Ron and John and Jose in the building. Listen, guys, if you guys are watching, if you guys haven't tuned in to Still Knicks fans, what are you doing? They have an open panel on Saturday. They have a dope NBA show on Monday talking about the Knicks. And also on NBK, the #1 Knicks channel out there, they do a Thursday NBA special as well. So make sure you tune into my guys, Ron and John.
Yeah, so tonight, that sounds like it's going to be a lot of fun. You guys got the live viewing?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yes, so we're going to do a little private watch along tonight. I know you've got.
I'm going to try to pop in. I have a dinner at 8:00. So I mean, if I could pop in from the car, I'm going to try to pop in. But man, I'm DVRing the game. It's like one of those nights for me. But I'm excited to see how this thing goes with the new app and the live viewing party. Like, I think that could be a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love the fact that we're putting ourselves in a position that, as long as you're going to watch the Knicks game anyway at home, you're drinking, hanging out, why not come watch the game, sign in, set up your account, and literally hang out with all of us, private watch party. We get to talk. And what I love about the feature so far, it kind of like Twitter Spaces. People can raise their hand. We can bring them up. They can talk. Camera, no camera, hang out. But at the end of the day, it's about all of us coming together, hanging out. I mean, I can see us doing it with friends of the family, guest stars coming on. Let's enjoy the Knicks games the right way.
I think it'll also. I think again, Sals, I know you and I were talking about this. Like, I think with the growth of live betting.
Ladies and gentlemen, get ready for a spoiler alert. Go ahead, Drew. I know where he's headed with this.
No, I was just saying, with the growth of live betting, I just love the idea that we can talk about it live during the game, like as odds change, like as things change the game, new props, new spreads. I just think that's a really this is a good format for that, which I really like.
Listen, guys, I literally told Drew about us doing this tonight, and the next thing you know, it's 30 texts, and as of last night, we officially have like our own NBA red zone that we built it last night. Drew literally built out the format. He's like, here's what you guys are doing. We're going to bounce around every NBA game, red zone it, betting. I was like, all right. And I'm just like, when do I pour a drink? All right, I want to drink.
And that's what people got to understand. When you over here at the Knights of Degen, yes, this is the Knicks Morning Brew, right? Yes, we have the Yankees Morning Brew, but we also cover every other team in every other league. There's not, listen, if there was horses or if there was dogs racing each other around the corner from my house, I'll be there right now putting $5 on the bet right now.
I can see Hector now. Hey guys, can you ask Drew, can we do a dog racing morning brew? I'm like, what the hell?
Bro, Jiggaman, how many times do I hit you up when I'm on the slots at the casino, bro? Like
all the time. All right. I know everybody in the chat's like, let's talk Knicks. All right, let's get back to it. I want to talk a little bit more about that Suns game the other night. Mm-hmm. How nice, guys, was it to sit back, watch a game, and still have a little bit of stress pop up, but not much. Like, we literally got to sit back, relax, and enjoy an epic win. Like, we kind of bully balled the crap out of them that entire game.
Yeah. It's crazy to see, and people don't realize, but it's crazy to see what one player can do to a roster. Like, their lack of Devin Booker showed that it does not matter who else they have. They cannot function without Devin Booker. Like, they look really, really bad. Kind of like if you look at what's happening right now with Trae Young and the Hawks. When there's one player that used to be their star that all of a sudden there's now dysfunction around, the whole team's operating in dysfunction. So it's cool to see that we've had some players that have had to miss some games, and we haven't looked as bad as those teams have looked with that scenario. Like, that's a huge positive for us. Like, we're still able to operate when we had Brunson gone. Were we as good? No, but we were still good. We weren't a horrible team like the Suns looked without Devin Booker. And it also made me go, on the Mikal Bridges thing, because there's been a lot of talk about us going for Mikal Bridges, and he did not look great in that game without Devin Booker to facilitate and get the offense off of him. So if we had him and Jalen Brunson, Jalen would need to still play that star role to make Mikal effective and efficient. And so that was a huge eye-opener for me watching those two things in that game.
Facts. Drew, real quick, your alpha literally made Ticketmaster, SeatGeek, and TickPick all go up. The ticket prices just jumped up to $220. All right, we're gonna say it's because everybody tuned into the Knicks Morning Brew.
I need to make my move yet. No, I'm not gonna do it.
Wait, Drew almost convinced himself to rebuy tickets that he knows he can't go to.
And honestly, the Degen move is
the buy it and sell them. Yeah.
That's like the Degen play right now is the buy and flip on these, because the minute it gets close, the speculation's gonna go through the roof.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah,
100%. For me, when it comes to the copy, do you think? For me, when it comes to this last Knicks game against the Suns, for me, the takeaway for me was DeAndre Ayton really doesn't want to be there. After the first two shots he hit in the game against Mitchell Robinson, a nice little couple shimmy moves. After that, DeAndre Ayton mentally checked out of that game. The first timeout that Monty Williams called and tried to tell DeAndre to do this type of play, do that type, whatever it was, whatever scheme he was trying to draw up for Ayton did not want no parts of it, right? So for me, the biggest takeaway is DeAndre Ayton doesn't want to be there. And you could see a trade right before the trade deadline, sending DeAndre someplace else because it's not working out. And I feel bad for Chris Paul, man. A lot of people point out he looks so old. He looks so disengaged. It didn't look like Chris Paul. It looked like a shell of himself. And the Suns released Chris Paul so he could team up with LeBron and get a championship. Just do that. That's all we need.
Yeah, literally. What up, real quick? Shout out to our boy Pete Simonetti, MLY News TV in the chat.
Sir.
Was good. Chris Joseph, a true Degen, just got very tempted to go buy every Knicks. Calm down, Chris. Save some money, bro. Calm down. Guys, isn't it funny though? Like, usually at this point of the season, right? Of course, we're talking trades. Everything's going trade crazy talk. Usually trade prospects that we have, when we're scouting them, when they're up against us, it's like, all right, let's see what they got. Every name that's been presented to us so far has not performed against us.
That's been
It's
horrible.
been some other random name, but every name. I mean, seriously, when Kuzma was here, did he go nuts?
Nope.
Did Levine go nuts?
Nope. Chris
Did
Duarte
Bridges
from
go
the
nuts?
Pacers. Yeah, Chris Duarte didn't go nuts either.
No,
They're
he
actually
was-
helping us, right?
Yeah.
Because if any of them would have gone off, we would have had Kuzma last week. We would have had if Levine would have went off on us when they were all there watching the game. That man would have came back from Chicago on this team, but he didn't. DeRozan and all them left like, if we do this right now, this fan base might actually kill us.
Yeah. It's true, bro. It's true. Back in the days, if this was James Dolan like truly running the ship like he used to back in the days, if Zach LaVine would have went off right for 30 plus points, James Dolan would have been in the visitors' locker room with his Knicks jersey right there, Drew.
Dolan used to run this team as emotional as it gets. The guy has a good game. He's putting pressure on everybody. And then he realized he never got anything right. So he had to stop. But like back in the day, man, anytime someone did anything, he was like ready to make a move.
No, I honestly don't think that it was him that decided to stop. The NBA came in, fired people, put someone in charge. It was like, you better not make another move.
True story.
So I got to ask, Drew, while we have you, do you have a dream target right now? I know you love trades.
My move is Bradley Beal. I still like Bradley Beal. I think that, like, I know everyone's sleeping on him, but I think, like, if we were able to trade, the thing I'm struggling with is Quickly, because Quickly's been playing so fucking good, and he's such a good young talent. But, like, the trade that I would do, I thought personally, is the Quickly, Fournier, Rose, 3 first-rounders, and get a 30-point a game scorer. And then you have now the challenge is what happens to then Grimes? Does Grimes come off the bench? I think that's okay. I think that, like, if you can put Brunson, Beal, Barrett, Randle, and Robinson with a what's it called? Who's our backup point guard that I love? The defensive player.
McBride.
McBride and Grimes coming off the bench to disrupt the freaking game with OB and I don't know who would play our backup small forward in that role. I'm trying to think. Who's our backup 3?
He doesn't have one. He always keeps 9 people. It's a 9-man rotation.
I was about to say, are we still trying to figure that out?
Yeah, we're still trying to figure that out.
It would be Cam, but it's not going to be. Okay. Yeah. And then you got your Skins or but okay. So, like, I think that, like, what I would still love to see is a 30-point a game. Like, there are a lot of times where it's the end of the game and I'm just like, who do you go to? Like, Randle's a solid basketball player, but he's not a get the ball in his hands and let him create his own shot guy. He's not really great at that. He's better when he's put in a good position. I actually hate when Randle gets the ball at the top of the key and has to dribble a bunch and create a shot. Now, Brunson can do that. He can create space. He's shifty, he maneuvers, but he's also, like, he's a point guard. I want him to play a point guard. I don't believe yet that we've had a go-to scorer since Melo like that. And to put a to scoop a Bradley Beal, I think that's a piece that puts you into, like, Eastern Conference contention legitimately. So I think that's the move I would make. If we can pull a similar type of trade for a Zach LaVine, I'm open to that as well. I don't need 20 draft picks. We are a young team with I think majority of our team is under 27 at this point. Tibbs is not trying to play a bunch of rookies. Like, we've stocked up these assets. Now it's the time. Listen, we haven't been proven to get people in free agency. So what we've done is we've stockpiled assets. Let's use them and take our big swing. That's my opinion. Now, if other people argue and say, "Hey, let's wait till the offseason. We have a decent thing going. Let's just continue to compete." I can't argue that. Like, let's see what happens in the offseason. But, like, I don't know, man. We get into these moments where, like, there's something here. We have a good foundation, and as long as we don't blow up the team and we're able to not disrupt things too much, but we can leverage some of our draft pick assets and some of the players who are out of the rotation, and maybe one rotation player like a Quickly who would obviously have to fall out of the rotation if we can't, if we make a deal like this, then I think you pull the trigger on a trade like that. Quickly is hard, man. Quickly's hard. I don't know.
Yeah,
Phil, I'm gonna throw it to Phil and Hector. But DSJ said, okay, if we did the Beal trade, who do you trade? to get Beal? Who are we getting rid of in that situation?
Before the Bradley Beal proposals, I just want to point out another DSJ chat when he says that Jiggaman looks like a blogger from 2003 trying to convince you that the newspapers are dead. We love DSJ.
Newspapers are dead, DSJ.
He is the number one troll in the Knicks community. I love my guy DSJ. But when it comes to trading for Bradley Beal, like Drew pointed out, we have a plethora of draft picks, right? We have so many pieces in our war chest, right? When it comes to trading for Bradley Beal, we can offer quickly. We can offer a Jericho Sims. I know a lot of people wouldn't want to offer Jericho Sims, but we can offer Jericho Sims, and we can offer Evan Fournier just so we can have the money match up, and then just unload 5 to 6 draft picks, whatever you got to do to get a Bradley Beal. Because if you have a Bradley Beal here on this team, it just opens up the offense so much more. It spreads the floor out so much more. Now, not people are not going to be lackadaisical when it comes to leaning off of him like they do sometimes with Quentin Grimes. If you have Bradley Beal out there on the three-point line, you'll give space for Julius Randle to operate. You give space for RJ Barrett to operate, and you give space for Jalen Brunson to operate. And it just makes the offense just so much more.
And I saw that Pudge said Beal can't defend. Just quick thing, like got to think like there is this, I always like the offense defense kind of like, I think like you imagine you have the explosive offense of like the Brunson, Beal, Randle, Barrett, but then you come off the bench when you need lockdown, you have Grimes and McBride to shake things up. Like that's a force. I mean, those two have changed the Knicks season, in my opinion. When we started playing badly was when Grimes went out. That was when we started to spiral again. So to me, it's like, Beal and Grimes could kind of come in for each other a little bit. Not saying Grimes can't put up buckets. Grimes is a bucket, man. He could drop his 15. He just can't drop 30. He's not a 30 guy. And Beal
Yeah.
So here's a few things about Beal. I do agree. Not every player needs to be an offense-defense kind of player in this NBA. However, it would be a little bit scary when the only actual defender that would be in our starting lineup would be Mitch, because RJ tries, but he's not a real great defender. Randle, he's played good defense in one game this whole season, and everyone's like, why don't we see that in every game? Brunson, he tries, but he's small, so he typically gets the foul or he goes on the floor. So that would be another person. So it would be 4 out of 5 guys.
Yeah, I hear that.
So with our perimeter defense being as bad as it is already with someone like Grimes in the starting lineup who is a good defender, then I feel like we're opening ourselves even more to nonstop threes in the beginning of the game, which would be hard to kind of come back from, which is what we struggle with already.
How is Zach LaVine recognized as a defensive player? I really don't know what he's considered.
Well, when it comes to Zach LaVine, he's an okay defensive player, but he's not the number one defensive player on your team, right? Like for me, when it comes to the Knicks, like Barrett, just like Barrett, he needs that number one defender next to him to bring out the best of him. For me, the perfect scenario for the Knicks, and it's not going to happen, but if this player was on a team on the West, not on the team that he was right now, if Jaylen Brown was on any other team but the Boston Celtics, Jaylen Brown would be the perfect piece to put in between Jalen Brunson and RJ Barrett, right? Yeah. But the fact that he's with Boston, he's with our rival in the same division, in the Atlantic Division, they're not going to trade with us. But the best scenario and the best player to be put right in between Jalen Brunson and RJ Barrett would be Jaylen Brown.
Yeah. And Drew, to your point on Beal, he's not even getting 30 buckets. He's only averaging like 21, 22 points this season. So if you're looking at a consistent 30 player, to give up that much for a 22 player when we have Grimes that's typically at 17 to 19, that's giving up a lot for 3 more points a game.
I don't know that I would consider Beal a 22 scorer, though. I think that's a little suspect in like, he's been injured a bunch. He was out a little bit. It's like, I think that, Beal's proven. I mean, he was an NBA league leading scorer. So like he's a proven points machine.
Yeah.
So I'm not worried about him as a scorer. The guy can create shots. He is a prototypical old school 2-guard, 6'6", whatever it is, that can put the ball in the bucket at will. Like I've always loved those kind of guys. Like I grew up with in the era where the go-to scorer was the shooting guard. Michael Jordan, Reggie Miller, Kobe Bryant. I'm just like trying to think of like some of the other go-to 2 guards, but like the shooting guard was the position you went to. Like Starks was my favorite player of all time. Like, these were, I was always a shooting guard guy. So I miss having a killer in that spot. And it'd be nice to have that.
I would say if you want to look for other people to possibly trade, I'm not sure if Memphis would make the trade, but Desmond Bane or Dylan Brooks, either one of them, they're both 3-and-D type of guys that aren't, ball dominant, that know how to play their role, probably be a perfect fit to be in that starting lineup. But it's almost like Quentin Grimes having a second Quentin Grimes. So I'm not too sure when it comes to just. Oh God, Bradley Beal, like Drew was saying, when it comes to him scoring, he's averaging what he's averaging right now, Phil, this year as the third option behind Kristaps Porzingis and Kyle Kuzma, right? So with Bradley Beal averaging what he's averaging, he's doing it as the third option with the Washington Wizards. If he was to come over here with the Knicks, he'll probably be in the same position as the third option, right? So it's kind of good that we're seeing that he's still able to get his 20 points per game while being the third option behind KP and Kuzma.
Yeah. So I hear rumors, and obviously it's always rumors, but that the Timberwolves are kind of regretting the foundation that of course. But like the Timberwolves are kind of regretting what they ended up doing with this Gobert trade and realizing that it's not really working out. So if they ever blew it up, what would you think about Anthony Edwards going all in on a player like Anthony Edwards?
Yeah, but they wouldn't give him up.
Yeah,
they wouldn't give him up. That's a pipe dream. I would love that. Listen, I play NBA 2K and I make that trade so many different times. But honestly, I don't think the Timberwolves would do that. But then again, we don't know because the Timberwolves are a franchise that is just horrible. Like Drew, last time we was on the show, a couple shows ago, I pointed out the fact that Tim Duncan as a player has more wins in his career as a player than the Minnesota Timberwolves has as an entire NBA franchise. And that's crazy to even say.
Crazy.
19 comments said, Phil, stop hitting that pipe, bro. Stop it. With the end.
Hey, listen, I have gone through enough hell seasons as a New York Knicks fan to be able to actually have some dreams and aspirations that my kids might see a winning season.
Yo, can we get Phil to recreate that scene in Ted Lasso where he walks and taps the sign believe and just points? Phil, please make a video of you with a Knicks thing on top and says believe. How about Pudge says Anthony Edwards going to the Hawks? That's it. He said if he's going anywhere,
I gotta hop off. I gotta prep for a meeting, but it was good popping in.
So
thank you.
Like always, to the next time, my guy. Salute, brother. Peace, my guy.
Smooth. Watch the last episode, Smooth.
Smooth. This man went on unicorn crazy talk the other night.
What?
So he's right there with you.
Porzingis jersey, and I said, yo, if we can get Porzingis on the low, make it happen.
Yo, who was it that they just played the other night? He got postered. I thought about you because you had the jersey on that night. He got postered hard the other night.
You talking about KP?
Yeah, that was one of the highlights in the top 10. And it was the night that you talked about the unicorn. I was like, well, unicorn.
Everyone gets postered, bro. Everyone gets postered.
Hopefully this is not a troll from DSJ, but he said, I will hope Brandon Ingram will come back healthy so we could target him. Trey Murphy III offering up Reddish in the 2024 first round draft pick, and I hope the Pelicans are willing to trade with us. Listen, with the way that things are working out in New Orleans right now, Zion Williamson has taken over that team as the number one scoring option with Brandon Ingram injured, right? I love BI. Right, I 100% love BI, but I'm not sure if BI and Randle can coexist on a team together because they're both ball dominant players. Unicorns are imaginary creatures. As soon as they seem real, you realize it's just a donkey with a horn glued to its head.
You donkey.
Chris,
You donkey.
Shout out to Chris. That's hilarious.
He said it's a donkey. Donkey. It's a donkey. Look, Smooth's right there with Phil. That's it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, Phil and Smooth have officially signed Porzingis back to the New York Knicks.
Listen. That would be the biggest redemption story in NBA history if Kristaps Porzingis comes back to the Knicks with his tail tucked between his legs. That would be the biggest redemption story. I'm not sure if fans are going to want to just welcome him back in with how it played out towards the end.
Yo, how about I still got my KP jersey too, Phil. It still hurts. Yeah, you know
Burn
what?
it.
I'm about to say every jersey I own, officially outside of my Aaron Judge, every jersey I own for every sportsman I have, the player's been traded.
You don't have your.
I'm not buying a new jersey this year.
You didn't get it.
When I buy a jersey, they're gone.
You're gonna get a Zach Wilson jersey.
Wow. Why you got like for real?
Wow.
Like I thought we were friends.
Like,
I can't. Yeah, I came here to have a good time, and this man, that's it. Put that man back to the Yankees morning brew. Get it? No, I love it because don't curse the Google AdWords. All right, fine. There you go.
Well, Pudge Nice said he already apologized. So if he apologized, and if it was his brother, I don't know, maybe.
Look, as long as
his brother is not with the team, then I'm good.
Look, Smooth's like, I'm ready to come on the show right now. Look, the hater tag. Hector got his hater tag today.
Hey, listen.
Well, hold
That's
on.
my sticker. I wear that for life.
I'm gonna be honest with you. All right, even though this isn't Jets talk. Yeah. You know what? Let's not go into the Zach Wilson conversation. I got too much.
Well, 19 Com man, he did make a point. That injury with KP hurt himself. It was Giannis not giving him a space to land his feet. It was kind of Giannis. It was Giannis's fault.
Fell off. All right, you ready? I'm gonna get you guys riled up, and I'm gonna get the chat riled up too. We're gonna switch it up a little bit.
Don't do that,
guys. I'm gonna admit this right here, live on camera. I need someone to convince me on Deuce, man. I'm sorry. I'm trying to find.
First of all, talk like that gets you taken off of the street. If you talk like that,
I just got kicked for the first time. Thanks, appreciate it. I don't mean it in a bad way. At all. I'm just talk to me, convince me. What is it that we're so sold on Deuce? Because I'm not there yet,
bro. His defense, his speed. Bro. When it comes to meeting the opposing point guard or the opposing player at the point of attack, he's meeting you before you cross that half court line. He's not letting you get set up. He's disrupting you. He's fighting over those screens. That's what Deuce McBride does.
I think that's what it is. Where I see that. I text you guys about it all the time, right? The kid's defense locked down. I think that's what my problem is it's so one-sided. You know what I mean?
Like Pudge said, look.
Deuce saved his job. Yeah, exactly.
But I think
that's the thing is I think I'm so sold on the defense. It just kills me knowing there's no offense from the kid. Like, you're not getting
but I blame you, Jigga. You're the one I blame. All right?
Why? Because I'm your older brother?
I'm going to pull a Twitter space.
I'll go Foxy.
And I'm going to call for some receipts. I think it was 2 or 3 episodes ago. Jigga said, I need McBride to stop acting scared and just shoot the ball already.
Yeah.
Shoot the ball when you get the ball. He started shooting the ball and started missing every single shot.
There you go. So you're asking – hold on. You're asking for receipts. There's no receipt given. There's no receipt given. If anything –
he was.
First of all,
there's a lot of yelling. There's a lot of yelling.
I know. Phil gets excited. All right, Phil. New rule: when you're gonna yell, you got to go back to the wall. All right, Phil's like, but that's my point. You don't need receipts. All our stuff is live, right? You don't need to go back and look for a voice part of the recording right here. I said it. The man looks scared to shoot. He needs to shoot. We need to see what we got. Guess what?
Listen.
He shot. He answered. Now my question is, outside of defense, what we getting from him? And I'll remove myself.
When Deuce McBride plays more than 15 minutes a game, the Knicks have we are over 500 tremendously. We're like 11 or we're like 12-3 or 12-4, something like that when he plays over 15 minutes per game. So when it comes to Deuce McBride,
Phil will only back up people and shout them out in the chat when they're on his side. Thank you, Smooth. He is ready to play.
McBride is the new Frank. I don't know about that, but maybe.
I was talking. I had no idea. You took me off the stream. I kept talking.
Chris Joseph said he's a long player with great defensive mentality. He has shown the skill in the G League on offense, so it's just a matter of time of hoping the offense translates to the NBA, and that's what it is. And if his offense translates over the next couple of months, then this is a steal. But if his offense doesn't show up over the next couple of months, then we could start talking about he could be replaced.
Yeah. You ever seen those movies where they're trying to talk to the girl or the guy and they're like, "Hey, smile," and then they smile and they're like,
"Oh, that's that awkward creep thing."
Yeah. That was you. You wanted him to smile. He smiled. Now you're like, don't smile. The dude's confused. All right. He's a good defender though. And
it's hilarious.
For what we are paying him, I don't think you can find a better defender in the league right now for that kind of price. Smooth.
You know what? Smooth's been super active in the chat today. I think we could go ahead. We got Smooth and Cash coming on the show soon, don't we? We locked that in, didn't we? What day the boys coming on? The 13th?
Yep.
Oh, yeah. Tune into that.
I can't wait for that.
Woo. Listen,
I can't wait for that.
I need to line it up to be maybe we can set up to where based on each take, when Smooth agrees with me, then I move the camera over. He's on my side. If he agrees with Phil, then we move him on that side.
Hilarious. Foxy's hilarious. Also, too, let people know, Foxy, I'm gonna hit you up later on. Foxy, I'm not sure how you watch the game, if you have the league pass, however you watch the game, but we're doing a private watch along later on tonight with us over here at KOD. Jigga, let Foxy know about more details about it.
Yeah, guys. So the short version is we're doing it tonight as a private watch along. We invite those of you that are always here hanging out with us. But this is our first test run of it. So if you've got a TV subscription, I mean, literally anything, right? YouTube TV, Sling, Fubo, Spectrum,
Peacock.
Anything, Comcast, NBA League Pass, NBA, MLB, all that stuff. So we're going to do watch-alongs where we're going to invite our guests on. You get to hang out with us like you do on the show here, but we actually get to all get together and watch the game. It's not your usual watch-along where it's just the cartoon box and you got me sitting there be like, and IQ walks out of the lane, IQ passes the ball to Deuce, Deuce shoots, Deuce misses again. None of that. We get to actually watch the game. Oh, Phil rolled his eyes. He got mad. Bye, Phil. So if you guys want to hang out with us tonight, we're going to be in that. Hit me up on Twitter. Hit up our Knicks Morning Brew account. We'll get you the private link. The goal is, if this is successful, we want to make sure we do this every game. All of us coming together. I mean, how great will it be to have that Twitter Spaces style, but actually have camera action? We all can talk, hang out. There's chat box. So if you want to be in, hit us up. G Money, you ready to get in that tweet, bro? You know you coming through tonight.
Yeah.
And
are there any free
it's
snacks? Free snacks. It's funny because
I think Phil has the Dippin' Dots.
With the unicorn.
We want to be respectful. We want to be respectful to the Twitter
Oh yeah, definitely
that
will
are
be
already going on. So in the Twitter Spaces, we will break for the halftime Twitter Spaces, and we will end when the game ends, so that the after shows are able to continue to do what they do. We're not trying to compete with the Twitter Spaces.
No, exactly.
Put in a lot of work.
Let's be real.
Just for the game.
Right, let's be real. Ideal world, all of us here, especially those in the chat, we all bounce around between the same Twitter Spaces, the same groups, right? So, I mean, again, guys, it's a first test run, but ideally perfect world, my dream scenario, Come on. Could you imagine all of our content, guys, all of us hanging out together, one room, halftime kicks in, boom, you've got that Twitter space that kicks in. Right? Boom, you've got your post game. There's just so much we can do. Anyways, hit us up for it. We got that established. Phil's already giving me the haterade. As far as will there be any snacks? Foxy, it's crazy, bro. Knights of Degen. We actually have our own food brand. It's launching here in the first quarter, where when you're hanging out, you'll be able to hit the barcode scanner on the screen, order your food right to your door. There's just, I'm excited. 2020 tree is about to be crazy.
Yes.
Question, who is the best megastar that will be available in the next 2 years that you feel would come to New York? Take it away, Hector.
Donovan Mitchell. Donovan, I'm not joking. Donovan, he still has 2 years left on his contract before he reaches free agency. Donovan Mitchell wants to be in New York. He wants to be a Knick. He hasn't signed an extension for that reason and that reason alone with the Cavs. Donovan Mitchell.
Salso?
Go ahead, Phil.
Man, honestly, if he would be willing to come in those 2 years, I would take Mitchell too. Like, that would be incredible to have that kind of play that we've seen from him this year in the Garden, where he's home. Like, that's a story. You know, like, we had a welcome home story in Kemba Walker that did not go the way anybody expected it to go.
But even a broken down Kemba Walker, how much hype did that first game have back in the Garden, bro? How much?
Yeah, when he hit that 40-point night, too. Remember that? That was such a dope game.
If Donovan Mitchell would have had that 70 piece in a Knicks jersey in the Garden, bro.
Yeah.
So here's my question for who do I sign 2 years? Do we still have the same front office and same coach?
Coach, no. Not the same coach.
Okay, same front office.
The coach would be gone. It would be Johnny Bryant would be the head coach with Donovan Mitchell as a superstar. Johnny Bryant was the assistant coach. You guys know him when from the Utah Jazz. That is real close to Donovan Mitchell. That was like the first step to get Donovan Mitchell over here. I still think it's going to be Donovan Mitchell. And like somebody put in the chat, the Cavs aren't going to win with him and may try to recoup any assets that they lost. So
he wants to come home. So my issue is this will be one of those moments that then Phil's going to come back and be like, receipts.
Facts, smooth.
Because I told y'all weeks ago, I don't even want to say the man's name. Like, his name is like in Harry Potter, the name we do not speak of, right? Like, I feel like I'm still hurt from it. I'm right there with you, Smooth. It still hurts me. Hey, I'm an amazing talent, amazing star. I want to play for you. Let's make it happen. I'm not going down that rabbit hole again. Well, yes, of course. I would love to have Spider here in 2 years, but I can't have that conversation again.
Donovan Mitchell becomes a. Go ahead, Phil. Go ahead, Phil.
Do we still complain if we get him in 2 years and it didn't cost us giving up everything? And we were able to build something around having him in 2 years. Like, if we wind up getting him anyway, and we don't have to, like, rob the bank for Danny Ainge, like, do we come out victorious? I think we just have to be careful not to get caught up in stupid cap space in the next 2 years that we don't wind up having the finances to get him in 2 years.
After the 2024-2025 season, Donovan Mitchell has a player option that he can exercise and become a free agent the summer of 2025. So with 2023 right now, so 2 seasons away. Listen, anything can happen. You don't know. Anything can happen. We could get someone in the draft over the next couple of years that's a steal that we don't know turns into a superstar. So anything can happen over the next 2 to 3 seasons in the NBA. I'm just saying, if the possibility is out there, if he still wants to be a Knick, bring him here. Bring him home.
So, see, but here's one of the reasons why I stay away from this rabbit hole. Because let's be real. This is a conversation that opens up so many other conversations, right? Before I jump into the topic, Jonathan, don't do it. Sorry, I had to.
All right. Smooth is hilarious.
This is what opens up the conversation. Hold on, before you even do that. We made the playoff. Tibbs is still here as a coach. I agree with him. So that timeline of, Tibbs won't be here in 2 years. We make the playoffs. Yeah, Tibbs is here in 2 years. So the conversation still has to have the weight of Same front office, same coach. They blew it this time. And then how about Foxy? This is something we still got to take into account too, guys, where is it? You can't have backcourt of JB and Donovan. Incredible on offense and visible on defense. Do you agree with that?
I'm just saying, if Donovan Mitchell can play next to Darius Garland, who's not the best defensively, maybe it could work next to Brunson. But I definitely see where Foxy's coming from. That would scare me when it comes from a defensive side of things. Unless we're outscoring every team by 10 to 20 points, I don't know.
Spy's going to take that offer. He's going to negotiate with us, and he'll be like, nope, y'all played me. I begged y'all right there with you, Shaw. Bam, bam.
Ooh.
Sorry.
Ooh, Shy. Ooh, hurt my heart, Shy.
Because it's true, right? You know, you don't forget that pain. You don't.
Now, I want to ask you guys this one before we dip out, and I want to ask the people in the chat. Now, I know this may be blasphemous, but hear me out before you guys crucify me, right? 2024, in the summer of 2024, when this man is a free agent, would you guys want to entertain LeBron James finally coming to the Knicks?
Not for what it would cost. No.
I see what you're saying. I see you. You talking about for the price? Because he'll be a free agent, not trading for him.
Yeah, no, the price. Like we would be
my man Ron. Nope.
Yeah. A crazy amount of money. You know that he's got a crazy goal to play with his kids. Mm-hmm. So if we lock in that contract, we're also
it'll be a circus show.
Kids.
It'll be a circus show.
No.
Yeah, it'll be a circus show. Like Foxy said, tomatoes, tomatoes, tomatoes. Tomatoes, tomatoes.
Listen, no. No, like that's my answer. Okay.
Blood of the Panther. Forget about
it. Exactly. We have to draft Bronny to get LeBron. Whoever gets Bronny gets LeBron, right?
Yeah.
And let's be real. I mean, someone said it, Jonathan. Wouldn't James be 40 at that time? Yeah. You if you pull off bringing LeBron to the Garden, okay, I'm not signing up for it, but that's just them doing it for super money, giving like the Fairwear tour. You know what I mean? Like, no thanks.
I don't think anybody knows LeBron James' true age. Like, I really believe that he was hooping back in the Great Depression. When it comes to LeBron James, that's how old he is. But yeah, I would definitely stay away from LeBron James at that
LeBron
age.
Could be a sick point guard at 40 if he was cheap enough, just not realistic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree with you, Smooth. They'd do it for that's what I'm saying. They'd do it for 1 year. They'd give him the big tour. The Garden would make buco bucks, and the front office would be like, "Yeah, we're making money." That's the only reason you would do that.
That's the only to make money, not to win a championship.
And here's why. Yep. Ready? Bam! It will attract other free agents to come to New York. Of course, the storyline. LeBron to New York, the Mecca, the Garden. Who comes with him? And all of a sudden we're like, oh my God. And then we got all these superstars. We enjoy an amazing year. And then next year we're like, oh my God, we suck again. We have nobody.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right. That was my take. Guys.
What's your predictions for tonight? Do we get the revenge against the Spurs tonight? I say yeah. It's a revenge game. They got blood. They smelling blood, so they're going to come for blood tonight. So I think the Knicks are going to show up tonight and get that revenge against Greg Popovich. What about you, Phil?
Yeah, I definitely think we're going to come out with this one. They just got spanked the other night by Brooklyn, like absolutely spanked. And so I really think that our game is just a poor showing, the other night. We got Brunson back. Brunson, showed how much of a difference maker he could be in our offense the other night. And so I think he brings that same, heart, that same grind. Julius is going to continue to play well tonight. I think we definitely walk away with this one easy. We're on a high from that last game.
Oh yeah. And I'm looking for it to be a good game because we're doing that watch along. Oh, we better win tonight. Go ahead. Close this out.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. Like we know we should have beaten them last time, right? They're a beatable team. The biggest thing I'm looking into tonight, guys, is the coaching, because we all know Pop put a master class against us last time. Okay, embarrassed our coaching. So I want to see if Tibbs, not only our players, I want to see if Tibbs as well, has a little chip on his shoulder, knowing he got outcoached. I mean, because it was obvious as crap the last time, right? So we know our players want the revenge game. I want to see if Tibbs is going to make the adjustments he should be making. Guys, I cannot wait to do the watch along tonight. The fact that we watch the game anyway and I get to hang out with all of these fools, hang out with you, let's do it. Everybody in the chat, I'm telling you, hit us up. Let's enjoy the game tonight. And don't feel like you have to have your camera on. You don't have to. But if you want to, you can raise your hand, you can talk, you can hang out. Come enjoy the game with us tonight. Hit us up on Twitter.
Ron, I'm gonna message you, Ron, to see if you want to join that watch along with us.
Yeah,
like Jigga said, it's nothing crazy. It's just a little private event we'll be going to be doing, just a little test run. We'd love to have you there.
The game is at 7:30 tonight. We'll open up the room about 7:15. The room will open up so everybody can come in early, hang out, we'll talk. Guys, it's gonna be fun, and realistically, again, it's a private get together tonight. So those of you, you're actually coming in and kind of being like our what's that thing? The study groups? What do they call it? Focus group.
Guinea pigs.
Guinea pigs. I was trying to be more professional. Please come be our guinea pig.
Focus group sounds better than guinea pigs, you know?
Yeah.
Focus group. I don't know.
Phil said,
situation. That sounds
here's
like
a sales pitch.
Kind of situation. Like, this is my focus group. You gotta work on our problems. Like,
okay. Well, when you call them guinea pigs, you're dehumanizing them. Well, you know, either or.
I'm like, hey, come hang out with us as a focus group for tonight. Feels like guinea pigs. Come on, guinea pigs.
I didn't say be our New York Rats. I said guinea pigs.
Yeah, but New York Rats be getting pizza, bro, anytime they want. Okay,
that's a fact. That's a fact. Come hang out with the boys tonight. The boys will be hanging out tonight, so just make sure you guys, tune in. I'll hit you up via text. For you guys out there, hit me up on Twitter, Knicks Morning Brew, Yankees Morning Brew, Project Nerd HQ on Twitter or IG. Just hit me up. Phil, you can't hit up on Twitter because James Dolan got his Twitter account taken down. But also you can hit up Jiggaman Porto on Twitter. But guys, this has been another awesome episode of the Knicks Morning Brew. If you haven't hit that like button, hit that like button. If you aren't subscribed, what are you doing with your life? Take us out, Phil.
Yeah, thank you guys so much. We're looking forward to hanging out tonight. Like we said, it's going to be a new experience. I've done other experiences like this, and there is like nothing like what we're doing right now. Like the other ones, you just kind of stood there and, you hope that you could see the excitement in your face because the cameras were so bad. This is an actual like hangout party. So if you want, send us a message. We're going to invite you guys. Smooth, I'll send it to you directly. But we thank you guys so much. And like always, we'll be back on Friday morning at 11 to talk about tonight's game and everything else that we see. If there's anything that you think we could be doing better or that you would like to see on the channel or anyone you would like to see as a guest.
Oh, sorry. Keep it to yourself if you think.
Let us know. We love to hear it. So thank you guys so much. And as always, God bless. Keep it Knicks. And we'll see you guys soon.
Peace out. Open panels on Friday. We out of here, baby. Peace. What it do, Nick Nation? What it do? KOD Universe, stand up. And all you DJs, wake up and get your coffee.
I'ma slam on these goats like I'm Jon Stark. I'ma slam on these goats like I'm Jon Stark.